Y'all, and welcome to the very first episode of Committee on Committees. Before we get started, let me tell you, I hope this turns out okay. I don't look like I thought I was going to look. Nothing's like how I thought it would be, but is it ever? I got surprised today by a very dear friend. Amy, my girlfriend in Jackson, Mississippi, works for Madison Magazine. And they did a piece on me. And I said, will you please send me some? And she said, I sure will. Y'all, she coordinated with my husband for a week to surprise me. And I almost messed it up because today my daughter had an ortho appointment and we like to go eat at Soho Social in Homewood. And I sent him a text and said, hey, we're going to go eat at Soho Social. So he had to quickly call her, tell her, this is where you're going to go. But y'all, it was so good. It was so nice. It was so nice to see a friend. And also I got to hear something, you never hear. You never hear somebody say this. Ellen, I'm loving this visit. I got to go. I have to feed my dog his Viagra. Back up. What? She said, yeah, my golden retriever has an esophagus problem, or he has epilepsy, and he was having seizures. And the vet called him in and said, it's time to say goodbye. But Mississippi State, go Bulldogs, their veterinary department has started to run tests on Viagra and how it can help dogs with epilepsy. She said it has opened up his esophagus. He is eating. And y'all, that is the blessing of girlfriends, is that you never know when you're going to hear, girl, I got to go. I got to give my dog his Viagra. Female relationships are amazing. The other thing I got to hear today, I called another girlfriend who lives on, I don't know if it's technically a farm. I don't know what it is. She lives on some land in Georgia. She has 7 cows. All she ever wanted was just to be able to have free range grass-fed beef. And she said, I was looking at one of my cows and I thought, you know what? That cow looks a little bloated. But who are we to judge? She thought, I'm not going to judge this cow if it's just a little bloated, because we don't want to be judged for being a little bloated. Her husband called the neighbor and said, hey, have you seen my cow? Like, that cow's a little bloated. And he said, that cow's done bred. The neighbor's bull got out and impregnated her 7 cows. I did not expect to have that conversation today. Not how I thought my day was going to go, but you know what? God loves us and wants us to be happy. So you have a girlfriend call you and tell you about her 7, she's got 7 pregnant cows. Honey, that bull just went to town in her backyard. They didn't even know it. I told her, you can't name it. She's got a little girl. I said, you can't name them. Once you name them, you can't eat them. So I've had the craziest day, but I think it's the best day to start a podcast. I think it's the best note to start a Committee on Committees podcast. And I'm going to tell you, we're doing it like we do everything. Ready, fire, aim, people. That is my business philosophy. But let me tell you, if you are a surgeon, if you are a high-powered attorney, engineer, architect, you cannot use my business philosophy. You cannot do ready, fire, aim. Those are measure twice, cut once jobs. But if you're in entertainment, if you're in marketing, if you're in sales, ready, fire, aim. Here we go. Lord willing, this podcast is going to entertain you, but it's going to be the worst it's ever looked, because we're going to figure out like, oh, that didn't work. Also, I think it's going to be amazing because I just called my first guest to see if she was ready. And she said, please tell me that my kid's not the only kid that just stuffs everything in the sofa when I tell her to clean up. And I was like, no, I have no bowls in my house. I don't know where my spoons are. They're under my kids' bed. They're under their beds. If I wanted to look under their beds, I could find everything I need. But you know what? I want a happy life. I don't want to look. So she is currently trying to find her a pretty place. But she can't, because everywhere she looks, her daughter has stuff stuff. Who's going to be the first guest for the Committee on Committees podcast? Rebecca Norma Carroll. Rebecca Norma Carroll. You have heard me talk about her in sketches if you've been watching. So Rebecca Norma Carroll is coming, and we're just going to have a good time. Let's talk about why I have named this Committee on Committees and what Committee on Committees is. I know about it from growing up in the First Baptist Church, Ripley, Mississippi. You cannot be born in a Committee on Committees. You cannot buy your way onto Committee on Committees. It is earned. It is the committee that chooses the chairs and co-chairs for every other committee, and that committee has a chair. Okay, that is such a great position, because all you're doing is telling people what to do. And you don't get on committees until you've served on committees. And they're also just a great group of people. And I feel like that's what we all are. We are just a great group of fun women, fun men. We like to have a good time. We like to go to church. We like to yuck it up. So we're committee on committees. We've served our time, but let us be on the committee that tells people what to do. Okay? But there's a difference between, are they doing it wrong or are they doing it different? A committee on committees member, we can see somebody doing something different and we're just going to let them do it. Because if we're going to tell them they're going to do it wrong, we got to do it. Then we have to do it and we don't want to. So always ask yourself that when you see somebody doing something. I know there's that Southern saying that says, I'm not the one in charge. If you're not the one in charge, don't say anything unless you want to get to work. Because once you start telling people how it should be done, that's when you start working. Committee on committees, we're fine. Y'all do it wrong. We don't care. Now, in a moment's notice, if the preacher says, I think we need to do a sweetheart banquet for the senior citizens, we will gather up our girlfriends together and in one meeting, we will have the senior citizens sweetheart banquet plan to a T. We will even invite somebody new from the church that maybe doesn't know a lot of people. We'll invite her. We'll let her help just so she can feel more involved in the church. We're a welcoming group, but we can get it done and we can get it done fast. So yeah, that's why we're the Committee on Committees podcast, because we just love to have a good time. I'm going to take a minute and go find Rebecca Norma Carroll, because Lord love her. She sounds almost as frazzled as I sounded 5 minutes ago. So I'm just going to let her know that y'all are okay if there's a little bit of a glare. Y'all are okay if her lipstick isn't perfect. Y'all are okay. So just 1 second. We're going to go find her. And y'all, here she is, Rebecca. Before we get started, everyone, let's have a moment of silence for both of our kids, because behind every 40-something-year-old mama is a kid being told, come here, help me with this. So 5 seconds before we went on, she was like telling sweet little Azalea to do something. Oh, we could have found so many other problems with this first recording of the podcast that it would have never gotten done. So at some point you just have to do it and go, this is it. This is what we're doing.
Yes.
So here we are. Y'all, Rebecca at one point, she did send me a text about 2 seconds ago and said, can we just do this after your son goes to bed? No.
It was a straight up no.
No. Because we won't do it. Because we've got to cook dinner and we've got to get people to bed. My kid, and I've still got one in school.
I'm glad you gave me the hard no.
Sometimes a good friend will give a hard no. Mm-hmm. Okay. Honey, that hard no was filled with Christian love.
I know it was. And it's the truth, because we would have kept putting it off.
It would be next week. And we would still just come up with problems.
Yeah.
So, hey everybody, welcome to the Hot Mess Committee on Committees podcast. This is the real Rebecca Norma Carroll. Thank you for joining me on this very first roller coaster of a ride podcast. How are you doing, darling?
I'm good. And I'm so glad to be here. I'm honored to be the first one on this ride.
I mean, it had to happen. Okay, y'all. So let me just tell y'all some backstory on how RNC and I know each other. We've been friends for so long, I can't even remember when we first met. I feel like we have friends in common and we just became friends.
Yes. I think it was that wedding shower when you were getting married. So
wedding shower, and you helped at the wedding shower, but then also probably Friends of Children's Hospital.
Yes.
And
all junior league.
Probably something to do with your Animal Rescue League stuff.
Yes.
Okay. If y'all don't, Jackson, Mississippi is a very philanthropic town. When I did a show in Jackson, okay, we're talking just a stand-up show.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Overby, they own the Overby company. They're realtors. And so at their meeting, they're telling everybody, hey, look, Scrimati's got a show. Do y'all have tickets? And someone says, is Scott getting a table? There's no tables. They're like, there are no tables. It's a comedy show. There are no tables.
This is
There's
not
no
a
table.
fun.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not a gala. This is not for diabetes. This is not for cardiology. This is not for the Heart Association.
We're
This
not
is just
auctioning off art.
nothing's being auctioned. Nothing's being auctioned. All you do is you just sit in your chair and you laugh at Ellen, and then you go home. So if you want to
Right.
go, you can buy a ticket. But no, we have not bought a table because there were no tables there.
Right. And we laughed, and it was a wonderful show, and we had the best time, and we were
Thank you.
still laughing and talking about it the whole weekend.
Well, the fun thing about that show was the very first time, they showed clips of my reels.
Yes.
That was the first time I'd ever actually heard anyone laugh
Oh,
at my
wow.
reels. Because you don't think about that.
Right.
And I got a little misty, but thankfully I have a cold heart and I didn't. But it was the first time I'd ever heard actual laughter. You get likes and you get comments and you get that validation. But it was the first time I ever got laughs. And that's the best validation. But back to you. So y'all, Rebecca, when she lived in Madison, y'all, she had the cutest little white house with a pink door. She
I
loves
love some
pink.
pink.
She had a pink door. And during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Lowe's or Home Depot was selling Susan G. Komen pink outdoor
Garbage cans.
She had a white house with a pink door and matching pink outdoor garbage cans. I mean, and that just sums up my girlfriend right there.
Yes.
So, and even in the years that I've been gone, which we're inching close to 10 years that I've been gone.
Oh, wow. I can't believe
We're getting
it.
there. We're getting there. Meg is going to be in 9th grade, and we left when she was starting kindergarten. So we're getting there. Okay, but Rebecca, I feel like your sweet late mother who passed away years ago, and her friends are the epitome of what committee on committees friendship, what that means and what that is. So the first thing I want you to tell us is one of my favorite stories that I know is technically sad because it's when you found out about your mother passing away. But tell us about Fun Phyllis and how you found out about Fun Phyllis.
Fun Phyllis went to the NSCW in Columbus, and she has a group of friends, and they have been friends since college, and they started around their 40th birthday, which I keep thinking back, and I'm thinking, oh, they were so young,
Right.
back then
Well,
when they were having it,
Yeah.
And now they are turning, I'm just going to say it, 75, and they are still together, and they still have their beach trips, and they are so much fun.
I love it.
And they let me attend in her place. So, I don't know, she was fun in college. She loved to party and a costume or to perform. She loved all of that. So, my mother passed away during the night, if you recall. And
Yes.
I don't know if my phone was on silent. I don't know what was going on, but I wake up to the front. There's someone's banging on the pink door, and then it's the police. It's the police. Open up. Well, I had no idea what was going on. So I answered the door, and I'm in my pajamas, and I have this little bitty black girl Cocker Spaniel named Bitsy, who runs out into that front yard, and I have that huge front yard on St.
Yes.
Augustine. And I think I called her a bad word when I was trying to get her back in. So first I'm mortified at the police, and then I can't find, and so he gets her for me. And then he's like, you need to go to your mother's passed away, and you need to go you need to get to their house. And so I'm like running around trying to find keys. Well, I cannot find keys. And he said, I'll drive you over there. So I go to get in the front seat of the police car. Now the lights are on and flashing. There's no siren, but blue lights are flashing in front of my house on St. Augustine Drive, which is one of those busiest streets.
Yes.
And he says, now, ma'am, you're going to have to ride in the back. So I get in the back of a police car, and I ride, and I think the lights were still flashing on the way to my mother's house. She liked to perform. She wanted to sing, Here it is.
She planned it. She planned it. Like, I want the most dramatic telling to my daughter
Right.
that there could ever be. Yes,
Exactly.
because true. Also, this was in Madison, Mississippi, which is a suburb of Jackson, which I would call Madison the city, because
Yes.
it always said, because you had Madison County and Madison the city
Right.
was in the county, but Madison always made sure that you knew that you were talking about Madison the city
The
and
city.
not Madison
Yes.
County. And truly, if you ever did see blue lights, you could just go on Facebook and find out what happened,
Right.
because nothing ever did. And if it ever did happen, Mary Hawkins Butler, the mayor, who's been the
Mayor
mayor,
Mary.
Mayor Mary, she's been the mayor of Madison for 100 years, which Fun Faye helped get her reelected.
Fun Phyllis, yeah.
Fun
I'll
Phyllis,
get her.
Fun Phyllis helped get her into office. She helped, if you've ever been to Madison and you've gone to the Strawberry Cafe, she started the Strawberry Park.
Park, yes.
Yes.
And those
She
little
helped in
signs that are everywhere.
the sign ordinances. I once posted, because I love to make a friend. When the when the CVS opened in Madison, Mississippi, and it was all brick with that copper scroll CVS. I mean, just
Yes.
$100,000, $200,000 sign. I just posted, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap, and because that's a Dolly Parton quote.
Right.
But, we would make fun of Madison, but I mean, it has held its property value.
It has.
So
It has. And it is one of the safest places and great to raise your children. It has.
it is a very safe place. I feel like the mayor herself, if the police weren't getting to your house fast enough, if you were in distress, I feel like the mayor would just like, honey, I just came on over. I just came on over. I just came on over myself. They were tied up, and so I just decided I'd come on over, and she'd cook you a meal. I feel like the mayor would. Well,
Yes.
I love that. I love how her friends, tell me more about some of the things that y'all do. I love how her friends have taken you in, and you get to take your mom's place, and now you get to go on these trips. So tell me some of the trips. Tell me, what does that mean to you to be able to go on these trips with your mama's friends?
I love it. I adore all of them. I call them W Mamas for the school, and they have been so wonderful. I've gotten to connect with all different ones. We just went to the beach in April, and we've already booked for next year. We're going to Bay St. Louis, but we went to Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Fort Morgan area this past April, and I love it. We like they tell me that I'm supposed to be the memory to keep up with the memory, and then one day I'll be the driver, and so I get to hear all the stories and hilarious stories, and then they come from little small towns around Mississippi, and we all end up knowing people and in common, and it's just we sit around. They play canasta or dominoes. We walk on the beach. We have a great time. It is
and I can only imagine how much it helps keep your mother alive.
It does.
Keep her memory alive. Another thing that I think is so important, Tim's parents have passed away. The last thing I told his dad was, my children will know you. And he just took my hand and he just hugged it and said, thank you. And I said, they'll know you and they'll know your wife too. And I think it's important that even if a grand has passed away, that we find ways to talk about them. So I know that your precious Azalea Norma Carroll hasn't gotten to meet your mother, but this is a beautiful way for Azalea to know her grandmother and what makes her mama so special.
She and all of the ladies know Azalea, and she calls them by their grandmother names like G, Sugar, Nana, Birdie, CC. They have fabulous grandmother names.
Yes.
And so she FaceTimes with them when I'm on my trip, and she I was looking through her little photo album, and there's my mom and one of them at their 40th birthday party, this old picture, and it's in the middle of the little pictures of Azalea, at dance recitals and all that. I was like, where'd you find this picture? But so they tell her stories and she loves it.
I absolutely I love that. And then did you go to your mama's high school reunion?
I did. They even asked me to do a little Facebook post video, like inviting them, getting people to respond and to come to the reunion. And then when it came time for the reunion, I did some flowers, and then they gave me an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, my name her name was Norma Carroll, and so mine said Rebecca Norma Carroll. And some man came up and opened the page to my mother's class favorite picture with this other girl and two guys, and he said, "Would you sign my yearbook?" And so I signed it, and I don't know if he knew if I was the real thing or not.
Right.
I hope
And
I
you
didn't
know
look,
what? Look, if he thought you
Yeah.
were, and honestly, I am tempted now just to tell people I am 70 so I can hear how good I look.
Right.
You know, like if there's another reunion, I would like to go with you, and we'll pick another friend and I'll be her. And just so
Okay.
people can tell me how,
Yes.
I love to hear how good I've aged, even if it's because they think I'm 100.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Okay. I will get us in.
Please understand, I'm down for a 50th high school reunion. Okay. Because I'm 47, I've had 2 kids. I'll take a compliment however I can get it.
Right.
Okay.
I hear you.
However I can get it. Okay. Tell
So their
me.
60th is coming up. We can go.
I'm down. I am down for a 60th high school reunion. I mean, Peggy Sue got married. Do you remember that movie, Peggy Sue Got Married? Yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll wear a poodle skirt if it gets me a compliment, whatever it takes.
And then my husband's from Florida.
Yes.
And he went with me, and some lady from the class comes up to him and says, "I have been waiting for you to get here all night. Where have you been? We're so glad you're here. Let's dance." And he just looked at me, and I said, "Go dance with her.
Go dance. You're a good woman, Rebecca Norma Carroll. That's what you do.
I was not going to embarrass that poor person.
No,
either.
This was her reunion. Yes. It was their reunion. You were the guest. Southern etiquette. If somebody says to your husband, "I've been waiting on you all night long," get his little booty out there on the dance floor and you show her a good time.
Right.
Like the man I married.
Exactly.
I married a gentleman. He didn't get married in that Lily Pulitzer bow tie for nothing.
Right.
I could fall on the floor if I wasn't so hot, and then I would have to pick up myself. Okay. It's mamas can't fall out on the floor because all we'd have to do then is just pick ourselves back up. Yes. And that's the reason why we just keep on moving.
No.
1000%. So, Rebecca, I mean, we could talk all day. You are the entertainer extraordinaire. I know that you are Episcopalian, but you have moved to Wesson, Mississippi. So tell me your denomination again. What are you now?
Southern Baptist.
You're Southern Baptist.
I know. It's like we went. Okay. You went to you became Catholic.
I went Baptist to Catholic, and you went Episcopalian, which is like,
yeah.
You're having a good time. You went to Baptist. Okay, when you joined your church, did you join on promise of a letter? Or did they make you?
They made me rebaptize.
They did? Okay, I was just wondering.
They did not accept my christening.
They did not. They like a dunking. They don't like a sprinkling. Yeah. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Look, the journey to my mother, it's been a long journey, but it's been worth it, and it's okay now. Somebody commented yesterday about people moving, joining the church on promise of a letter. And I said, they keep talking about the promise of the letter, and I still hadn't read one. And that just means if you were a member at a Baptist church, they'll send the documentation that, yes, you were baptized. Yes. So I just didn't know if you had to go all the way through the process. That's okay. Well, listen.
I did not realize. Go ahead. Sorry.
When
you were baptized, you wear that white thing. Well, I wore this. I didn't know what to wear underneath. I wore this hot pink Texas A&M T-shirt and this white choir robe. And I get in there, and there's this huge spider floating around in that baptistry. They had not obviously cleaned it. And so I'm trying to avoid that the whole time. So I'm just kind of giving him a look like, let's get this. I just dunked myself. I just took my cell phone back.
And so after you were baptized, could they see your hot pink Texas A&M shirt under the white robe?
I think they might have when I got out. Yeah.
How did you come? How does a Mississippi girl that went to Millsaps come to own a hot pink Texas A&M T-shirt?
Oh, my daddy's family was all Tex Aggies.
Okay, okay. That makes very good sense for our Texas A&M fans. You were represented at the First Baptist Church Wesson
Oh,
during
yes. Giga Maggie's.
Gig'em Aggies. I have a girlfriend. Her husband was an A&M yell leader.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing.
That is a big deal. That is a
That is a
big deal.
huge deal.
And she saw the Mississippi State look on my face when she said he's a yell leader, and she stopped me right there. She was like, "You stop it right there. That's a big deal." And I
It's
said,
a huge deal.
"You know what? I love you, and I'm going to trust you." Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a big deal. He was a yell leader. He's amazing. He's amazing. So I wish I would have
Wow.
known if you were being baptized. I might could have brought him to do
I
something
know.
for you. I mean,
Oh, yeah. That would have
who
been.
knows? So let's talk about some menus. Let's talk about Southern food for a minute. When you're getting together, like you just had like MUW at the
Mm-hmm.
church,
Mm-hmm.
what did you bring? What was your dish?
Okay, that one. Okay, the last time I did it, I did a pasta salad with like
Okay.
asparagus and fresh asparagus and tomatoes and some, I can't remember what else. And then we had some chicken salad on croissants, and then what else do we have? I think I did something with fruit for
Okay.
dessert. So,
Okay.
but then I did. What did we do last? One time I did taco. We did taco soup and that kind of stuff.
Ladies
So I
love
made
a nice, when it's winter, they love a nice soup supper.
They do.
You can do some cornbread sticks, a couple of soups,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's happy.
I'm still working on my cornbread.
Oh, you are? I'm going to send you
Yes.
my mom's. I'm going to send you my
Okay.
mom's cornbread recipe. It never fails. It's perfect.
Okay.
Do you put
And that
buttermilk in
cast iron
yours?
skillet has to be hot where that water sizzles, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You put that cast iron skillet in with butter in it. Okay? You
Okay.
have the butter sizzling,
Okay.
not too much or it'll drown in it. And I feel like I just need to say that in case a cardiologist is watching. But really, drown it. Okay? But if a
Yes.
cardiologist is listening, no. But do your, butter or shortening, let that get warm, then you pour it in. That's what I do.
Okay.
Now, my
Yeah.
mother will do a little bit of the corn. She'll do a little bit of shortening, and then she'll sprinkle cornmeal
Okay.
on the bottom, and then that way you've got a really crunchy top.
Okay.
But you've got to go ahead and preheat your oven and put your cast iron skillet in the oven to get hot while you're mixing up your batter.
Now, do you do buttermilk in your cornbread, or do you do?
I was just about to say, I don't trust people that don't do buttermilk. If somebody's like,
Okay.
"Oh, it doesn't matter if you don't have it," yes, it does. Yes, it does. And we all live unless you just live so far away from the store, buttermilk matters. I mean, I would put that
It
on a
does.
T-shirt. Buttermilk matters. Okay, so yeah,
I'm going to
just
give you a little secret. Buttermilk, when you're making your grits, it will change the. It is delicious. I've really
okay.
become fond of buttermilk.
Okay, is that buttermilk on a savory
In
grit or a breakfast grit? Would you do that in your cheese grit?
like well, I've done it on just normal breakfast grits. I've done it when I've made pimento cheese grits. So the
Okay.
grits for
Okay, I'm going to try that because that just sounds amazing. That sounds
yeah.
amazing. Okay, according to my mother, I don't know if this is, I could die by buttermilk, but I one time was checking the date on buttermilk, and my mother said buttermilk don't go bad. And my husband thinks I'm trying to kill him, but my mother says buttermilk doesn't go bad. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, one of my W mamas said the same thing when we were making cornbread for dressing. I went over there for a dressing lesson one Thanksgiving.
Okay, and she told you, okay, so we now have two amazing cooks who say buttermilk
Yes.
doesn't go bad.
Yes.
Okay, because one time when the babies were so little, Tim Scrimati was trying to tell me to put their pacifier in whiskey. and let them suck the whiskey because they were teething, and they took the teething tabs off the market.
Yes, they
And
did.
didn't they took teething tabs off the market. They ripped them from my hands. They didn't even tell me, hey, we're about to take these off the market, so stock up, because that's what I would have done.
Right.
And they just went away, and I was just in just pure Hades. And he said, everybody has told me to do this. And I was like, tell me one mother, not one of your fraternity brothers, not one of the husbands. I need one mother who has told you to put whiskey on the thing, and then maybe I'll consider it. But until I hear it from a fellow mother, we're not soaking pacifiers in whiskey right now. Okay, no, we're not doing it. We'll just grin and bear it. But when it did come back on the market, I wasn't even pregnant, and I bought all I could in case for whenever I had the next one.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I do like to hear it from one or two sources before I will believe, because these old Southern people, they'll just be making up stuff.
I know.
It's not, and you're like, I don't know about that. I think that might actually go bad. I think that might go bad. That might, like, my mom doesn't really believe eggs go bad, but she never has eggs long enough for them to go bad. So
Okay. What about mayonnaise? You keep it in the fridge, right? Or do you keep it in the cabinet? Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, there's Southern people that keep it in the cabinet. That just is not right to me.
Yeah, but then it's okay with me that it's on a warm shelf. But it gets weird because it's sealed, and then it's unsealed. If it sits out, it gets...
Yeah, I mean, this is when they've opened it, used it, and they don't store it in the fridge after opening. They put it in the...
Okay.
That's just... I'm never eating it.
Here's the thing. I'm the only person in my house that will eat mayonnaise knowingly. They eat it, and they don't know it. They need to not know it's in there. So I just have a little stash of Dukes in my kitchen. So so it doesn't... I just have one of the little jars for me. I have to order everything plain, and then I put it on whenever I get home, because it's easier than running the risk that they would put mayonnaise on something of Tim's or something of the kids.
Yes.
And that is, you could put that on my tombstone. Ordered everything plain to keep us from eating mayonnaise. So that's my, that's my contribution as a mother right there.
Did you grow up on Dukes, or did y'all have a brand in your...
Okay, I grew up on Miracle Whip.
Oh, wow.
I know. And yet here I am. Look at me. I grew up in a Miracle Whip household, and I have lived to tell the tale, and I still turned out. So I'm just...
Yes.
Don't say I hadn't struggled. I remember when I was old enough to go to the store for my mother when I had my driver's license. Or actually, before I had my driver's license, we would walk to Mr. Jameson's, because it was at the end of the street. It's now a liquor store. I wish it was still a little grocery store. I know.
Yeah.
Ripley was dry forever. Ripley, Mississippi was dry forever. And now all the cute little places are just liquor stores. But back in the 80s and 90s, I could walk to Mr. Edsel Jameson's. Oh, he had the best thick slab bologna that he would slice in his store.
Wow.
I need a moment of silence for that. Okay. But when I was old enough to walk to Mr. Jameson's, I would buy my own little thing of Hellmann's, because I wanted good mayonnaise. And then as I got older, I discovered Dukes, and now I'm Dukes exclusively. What are you?
That's how we were Hellmann's.
Okay.
But then when unless my grandfather made homemade, and then it was called mayonnaise. It wasn't mayonnaise. It was mayonnaise. It was that real Southern mayonnaise. And then I'm a Duke's girl. But
okay.
I've noticed in Wesson, it's a blue plate town.
Oh, I'm not mad at Blue Plate. Not mad at Blue Plate. I'm not mad. I would be okay in a blue plate town. I could make it. But once I discovered Dukes, I was like, that's it. It's time to pick a team. But my mother, who knows what my mother actually likes? She's like most women from that day. You know why we did Miracle Whip? That's what my daddy liked.
Yeah.
So, it was, well, that's what he likes. And so that's what we do. Oh, okay.
That's probably why we had Hellmann's. My mama grew up with it, and her daddy, and then my daddy.
Yeah, and everybody liked it. Okay, tell me your favorite Sunday lunch. Y'all have gone to church. You're gonna do something really, really nice. What is your favorite Sunday lunch with the family? What are you gonna have?
Well, we're probably going to have a pork tenderloin or something like that. As much as
Okay.
or like that, there's another chicken recipe my mom made. I would love to be able to fry chicken, but I cannot do it. I know.
Really?
Take away my Southern card. It's gone. I
I
can't make
think you
cornbread
can.
or fried chicken.
I think you probably can make fried chicken. I just think you're selling yourself short, Rebecca. But if you can't fry chicken, it's okay because you can do flowers.
Yeah,
Okay?
yes, I'll do
We
that.
can't. I can't do flowers, Rebecca. So
But you
it's
did help me
okay.
that wonderful Valentine's when we had so much fun together.
Oh my gosh,
Gold leaf and those succulents.
y'all! I got to live my sugar baker dreams. We came to Jackson for a visit. It was Valentine's Day weekend, and I told Tim
Mhm.
and the kids, I want to stop by Rebecca's store. She's working. It was Valentine's
Mhm.
Day. I just want to go and hug her neck. And I walk into her precious, precious florist slash gift shop. And honey, they are working. They are working. And I realize I am needed. I am needed. Her husband was Anthony. He was the delivery man. And we are just putting stuff together. And y'all, her husband answered the phone, being the good husband that he is. Someone said, and succulents had really just started to come into fashion, like that
Mhm.
we need a mini cactus. Nothing says I love you like a mini cactus. So people were
Right.
like on the succulent train.
Mhm.
And he just says, hey, these people asked how much for a succulent arrangement. And he quoted some crazy price. And he was like,
He
well, what are we
did.
going to do? He quoted, it was crazy. Okay, he has to go to Kroger. Didn't he go to Kroger?
To get a bunch of succulents.
He went to Kroger, he bought a bunch of succulents, and she's like, well, this is not worth that kind of money. We got to zhuzh. We got to zhuzh the succulents. So I start
We
going through her store and I find a gold leaf pen and I was like, hand me those succulents. And I start gold leafing every other tip of those succulents until it looked
and
like a
then
$75 arrangement.
and I found a wedding topper, a mercury glass wedding
Yes.
topper, something that said love that we put on it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Those were the days. That was so much fun.
That was the
And we
best
had
day of my
sent
life.
Tim and your children off somewhere. I can't even remember where.
They were like, it was kind of one of those, I think y'all should just save yourselves. I
Yeah.
think unless you want to work, y'all should just go somewhere
Mhm.
else. And they did. It was one of my favorite days. The only thing I remember saying it too. I wish we had a pig named Noel here.
Yes. That's
That
all
was
we needed.
that's all we needed was a pig named Noel just to kind of help us out. That was the best. That was my favorite Valentine's Day ever.
That was.
Was that one.
It was. I mean,
And
I know. I can.
and so anybody out there listening, when in doubt, gold leaf a succulent and just call it a day.
Exactly. It will.
You know,
You can use it for any season, anytime.
it's
It'll
the
look
it's
great.
the it's perfect. It's what
Mhm.
what what more could you ask for? Okay, what are we missing? What have we not
Okay, well,
discussed?
your baloney story kind of
Uh-huh.
brought one. Your baloney story that where he would cut those slabs off
Yes.
the baloney brought up
Yes.
one of my sister and my family loves to tell. You know that Philadelphia, Mississippi, Williams Brothers store.
Yes.
Everybody would love to go over there because they had great deals on fry boots and Feltman Brothers and smock clothes and all this. And then they had the big thing of hoop cheese, bacon. And
Yes.
so I had a friend and we would go over in the fall. Well, the first year we went over, I'd never been over there. And I guess I was just a little shell shocked because I didn't know what to get or anything. So I noticed they had Spanx at a really good price that you couldn't get them for in Jackson. So I
Yeah.
bought me a pair of Spanx. Then I was like, well, I'm going to get something else. So I got a slab of bacon. And as my sister loves to tell it, I went all the way to Philadelphia, Mississippi to buy a girdle and a slab of bacon.
But I mean, of course you did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
The
because if you're going to be a bacon eater, we're going to need a girdle.
girdle, right. We've all seen that Steel Magnolias when they talk about
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes. Well, and it can be. a little jarring when you go into a store that you can buy Spanx and bacon and hoop cheese in the
Yes.
same place,
Right.
because there's some parts of the world where that's like, yeah. And there are some parts of the world where you're like, really? Really?
Is this
But
for real? Like,
is
yeah.
this for real? Are we really going to go buy some hoop cheese and fry boots at the same time? Yes, we are. Yes, we are, because we're in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and this is how we do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love
And I
it. Well,
justified my bacon by the Spanx, you know? Like,
absolutely. Plus, it was probably before you could get good Wright's bacon at the grocery store. So it was probably really
yes,
good, like thick cut
definitely.
bacon.
hmm
It was probably
You
really
couldn't
good.
get that. Yeah.
Right. You couldn't get that at the pig. Um,
Mhm.
what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite event, or do you have a favorite committee at Weston Baptist Church?
Um, okay, well, they have a rule, you have to be a member for a certain amount of time before they allow you on committees. Is that a
Okay.
committee's, is that like a Southern Baptist committee is on committees rule everywhere? Or is that just my church? I'm just wondering. This is all new
I
to
don't.
me.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that First Baptist Ripley has that rule that you have to be a member for a year. I I think that in our town, if you want to be on a committee, you can be on a committee.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they do that because they don't want you to feel like you're working them.
I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
I do help with the hospitality committee,
But you're
the
not on the
food, and
but you're not
well,
technically
I'm
on
kind
the.
of a yeah. And then, but they did give me this job, and I think this was just because no one was going to take it. And they're like, oh, she's new. It doesn't matter. She can't be on a committee. She can have this. I teach the preschool class on Wednesday nights,
Well, no, that is precious. That is precious.
2
Okay,
to
but
4 years old. Yes.
okay, I feel like we just yada yada over something, and
Yeah.
we gotta bring it back. Um, you can't be on a committee, but you can do all the work like you were on a committee.
Yeah.
So you're not getting worked like you're on a committee.
No, I am getting work like, I mean, you can get work like you're on a committee, but you're not
On a
technically,
committee.
like, I don't get to go to the committee meetings or anything, but I can do the work.
You know what? That could be a blessing. That could be, I would be
Yeah.
okay with that. Like, just tell
Because I
me what
guess
you need
I
done.
don't have to do with the politics and everything, so that's what makes it great.
You know what? That's actually really smart on the church's part when you say that you're not having to learn the politics because they want you to stay. They want you there for a year. They want you sucked
Mhm.
in. Then they'll let you see how the sausage is made. Okay, I'm fine with it. I'll allow it. Good job, Wesson. Good job.
So, but the little preschool class, so the first night, I had gotten all my stuff, I gotten everything. We were gonna, and I had a little snack, and I got these little white plastic cups, like mouthwash cups, to put the little apple juice in. Well, I
Yes.
filled up the cups and I put them down there, and I was like, this just doesn't look right in this preschool class. All these little cups filled with apple juice, just
Yeah.
it's,
Sweet
yeah.
little darlings.
But yes, and it's mostly girls. It really is. It's usually all girls. Mm-hmm.
Well,
And I
that's
will
just like,
say, they're make your day when you get there and they just come running and they all want to hug you.
oh, I know. I know that they absolutely love you too. I know they absolutely love you. Well, that's probably going to be, are you okay that you just may be the preschool teacher forever?
I think I am. I think I am going to be it
Yeah.
because no
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but I think that's great because these kids are going to grow up just loving you. And then that's how you get to be, when you're older, somebody that these younger kids love. So we
Yeah.
have to spend time with the younger kids. I don't teach a Sunday school class, but I keep ones in my purse and I pass them out to
Oh.
kids. So I love that you're giving your time. I just like to give little kids money,
Now,
and
do
that's
you
how they
just
like.
do this at church or is this at
Yeah,
school or?
at church. At church, I
Okay.
do it at Prince of Peace. Mainly, it's this sweet little 2-year-old Elliot. I know his mom.
Mhm.
And he would come to Wednesday morning mass at the school because my
Mhm.
little boy goes to the school, and I would see him there,
Mhm.
and I would give him quarters. And now we've
Mhm.
upgraded him to dollars because he's so cute. He loves me so much.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's cute. And he'll always remember you.
Well, and for him, I am Miss Ella. That's
Oh,
what
I
he
love
calls
it.
me. Yes. Yes. And like he'll
I
tell his
love
mom,
that.
like, do you want to go to church? And he'll say, yes, I want to see Miss Ella.
Oh, he adores
Look,
you
I don't care. Yes. Well, I
like the
mean, he
rest of
just
us,
loves.
your fan club.
Look, I don't care if you just love me for my money as long as you love me. I don't care. My love, I'll buy it. I'll buy your love. It's just how it
Yes.
is. Okay. Before we go, tell me what is, well, I have two questions. What is
Okay.
your favorite appetizer to make? Question number two, do you have advice for young girl, young guy out there wanting to get on a committee and cook something? What's the first dish you think that they should learn how to make if they were going to take a little appetizer somewhere?
Okay. Okay. First, I'm going to tell them, and I'll tell you my appetizers too. Okay. First, I'm going to tell them you need a summer and a winter appetizer. You need two in your repertoire.
Oh, that's a good
Like
one. Okay. Yes.
I have a fabulous watermelon salsa that a dear friend gave me, and I've doctored on a little. That is fabulous for summer. You would not even know it's watermelon. It
Okay.
is like you would drink. I mean, it is fabulous. Or I would do they needed either like a homemade salsa or something for summer. They need a good summer
Okay.
one, and then in a winter one, I like a hot dip, and I still love an old school cheese ball or cheese log, like with you know
Yes.
covered in
Yes.
pecans, fresh parsley.
Yes. Or something you can cook in a piece of Hawaiian bread.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's still I people may not love it, but put something in some Hawaiian bread and I'm a happy girl. Or
Right.
put something in an Italian bread loaf. My mom makes Mississippi Sin.
Oh, I love, that's a great one. And that's really
Mississippi
kind of a year round one,
Yeah,
you know?
it is. Well, because in the fall, in the winter, my mom would take, some of the honey baked ham and chop that up and she would put that
Yes.
in the Mississippi Sin. And then she would
That's a
hollow
great
out,
one.
yes, a loaf of Italian bread, bake it in there, and then you serve it with chips and then the bread that you hollowed out. Okay.
That's a good one.
Would you
One of
share with us?
my first
Uh,
ones was from Come On In. They have
yes.
the Junior League cookbook, a Monterey Jack salsa. That's fabulous.
Okay.
That was a
Which
good one.
one?
And Come On In was that one.
Okay. Well, will you share your watermelon salsa recipe with us?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Give me,
Okay. Thank you.
I'll email it to you.
Yes.
And then a
If
hot
you'll,
onion souffle is a good dip too.
which one?
I'll share both of them. A hot
Okay.
onion souffle is what I
Oh,
call it.
okay. Y'all, if you join our Committee on Committees newsletter,
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca is going to send me her recipes. I'm going to include my recipe for Mississippi Sin Dip. So that way
Mm-hmm.
you can have these recipes that we're talking about. You can join Committee on Committees. Go to ellenscommittee.com.
Yeah.
Join Committee on Committees. My last question, Rebecca, I've got my answer. I'm going to let you answer first. I know that you said have a hot and a winter dish. To the person that can't cook, that wants to take something to church, what's their first thing they need to learn how to cook to take it
Okay, I'm gonna tell you
to
the
church or
easiest
to their
thing
girlfriends?
is you get some phyllo cups. Those you can put you some
Yes.
little cream cheese in there and drop some pickled pepper or some pepper jam jelly on it, and you are good to go.
Yes.
It'll look fancy. No one will ever
You're
know.
set.
Yeah.
I
So
was going to say pour anything over a block of cream cheese.
yes,
Same idea.
yes, same thing.
Same idea.
Same
Take
thing. What was yours?
same thing. Take I mean take a block of cream cheese, pepper jelly, pick a pepper, any
Mm-hmm.
kind of spicy thing like that. When I worked at the Everyday Gourmet, every sauce went over cream cheese. We would even
Mm-hmm.
do a caramel. We would sample a caramel sauce, a hot fudge sauce, chutneys,
Mm-hmm.
everything. I mean, look, if it poured out of a jar, it went over cream cheese
Yeah.
with little crackers. So if you're trying to get yourself off of cups and ice,
Mm-hmm.
always bring your cups and ice and bring something over cream cheese, and you will quickly show the ladies that you need to be off cups and ice.
And then there's also
Absolutely.
that baked rice with the stick of butter, the French onion or beef consomme. That is a great one to take for a potluck or something, and that will get you off cups and ice because they're like, oh, this is great. It feeds a lot of people, and it's so good, and it's so easy.
Yes. Yes. And we need, it's okay. Everything doesn't have to be hard. There are a lot of recipes that are easy because we're all busy working jobs, raising our families, but we still want to carry something nice. It doesn't have to be that hard. It does not have to be that hard
It does
at all.
not.
Well,
I've had so much fun.
Rebecca, this is absolutely, I love this. I love this. We're going to have you back. I hope you're okay with that.
Okay. Yes, I would love to.
I hope you're fine with it.
Oh,
Everyone out there listening, thank you so much for joining our first Committee on Committees podcast. I hope that you have laughed with us. I hope that you have a hankering now for hick slab bologna. There was a little gas station in I think it was in Potts Camp, Mississippi, that would do a sandwich, and all it was a bologna sandwich on the softest white bread, and then he would wrap it in butcher paper. And there was something about that and a Coke in a bottle was just that was living. That was living right there. Well, Rebecca, I absolutely love you. Y'all, for
I love you too.
that is out there listening, I love you. Bye, Rebecca.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye, sweetheart. Bye, sweetie. Okay, that was an amazing conversation with my friend Rebecca. Guys, if you're out there, I hope that you can come see me live. Tickets are on my website, ellenscremetti.com. I'm going to be in Atlanta. Then in June, I will be in Dallas. I'll be in Fort Worth. I'm going to be in Houston. I'm going to be in Tulsa. I'm going to be in Greenwood. I'm going to be in Greenville. And Lord willing, I'll be some other places too. So I hope you can come out, see me live. I love meeting y'all in person. If you haven't already, please pre-order Hey Jesus, It's Me. I love y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. Go have a good day.